Hi guys. For today's video, I'm just gonna switch it up. Normally, I feel like I have certain things to show or talk about. I just want this to be like a chilled out, relaxed video, and I just want to talk, I guess. So I hate to like mention TikTok like every time I film a video, but I'm just gonna kind of relate this. My account on TikTok, I really was focusing on like sharing things that I've bought. Ever since I had that one video where I shared like this Amazon clock that I bought, I want to have an account where I'm like showing off my recent purchases. But honestly, that shit adds up really quick, and ultimately like it wasn't paying off. I wasn't getting really any followers. I wasn't getting that many views. Pretty much I've just been really into making like these little 1-minute story time videos on TikTok. I think most of these videos are doing relatively better than the videos I was originally posting, and I really want to do more here on YouTube. I just feel like it's kind of hard because a lot of my story times really don't need like 10 minutes to talk about. It might be like a minute or 5 minutes. So I don't know. I'm gonna see how this goes. But anyways, we're gonna get into this. This is the story time of when I was dating my cousin's boss. So this started last year. My cousin was driving me to work one day because I didn't drive at the time. I think it was like maybe July or August. So he was just telling me that he started working for this guy. He wants to like hook me up with him, and I'm like, I was confused at first. The way he was describing his boss, I'm like, what is this, you know, a older sugar daddy type of situation we're about to be having, or what is happening here? He was just telling me about him, and he's like, no, he's a young guy. So I'm asking my cousin, I'm like, is he cute? I don't think my cousin wanted to flat out say that he was cute, but he's like, he's not a bad looking guy. So I was definitely nervous because I never have been set up on like a date or anything like that before, because I'm like, what happens if this guy's really weird? And like I said, at the time I didn't drive. Like worried because I'm like, what happens if this guy turns out to be really fucking weird and I'm stuck on this date with him? But then I thought about it and I'm like, I don't think my cousin would intentionally put me like in danger. He has his boss add me on Snapchat. We started talking. I'm definitely the type of person, because I'm like psychotic, I guess, I need to like know everything about a guy before I actually go and meet up with them. In college, it was a different type of setting because like you could be in public with them at like a party or at a dining hall or the library, but I feel like for a guy to come pick you up and then take you out, I want to know everything about this guy. I need to know like his whole life story. I want to be comfortable ultimately with him before we even go out on a date. So this was another thing that I don't really like to do. We talked like a couple times and trying to like set up a day to go out. I was really trying to push this off because I just felt awkward. He seemed cute. He was definitely my type, you know, tall white boy, dark hair. I gotten off of work one night and he's like, oh, let's go out. And I'm like, no, I'm really tired. But then I'm like, okay, let me just get this over with, because if I don't, he's gonna keep asking. And I'm like, who knows, maybe this is my future husband. Got ready for our date and everything. And this guy pulls up in his Jaguar. I was not expecting this. My cousin had told me like he had money and everything, but I was not expecting this guy to pull up in his what, like $80,000 car. So now I'm like nervous after seeing this car. I'm like, holy shit, like what did I get myself into? I go out and like I get in his car. I thought it was gonna be a little bit more awkward, but he like just talked to me like he knew me forever. So like I said, this happened last year before COVID. So our first date, we went to a bar. We went to a couple bars actually. And he had told me like that's like what we were gonna do, and that was another thing that I'm crazy about, because I'm like, what happened to like dinner? But I have to say, going to the bar on a first date, as long as like you're not dealing with alcoholic problems and stuff, it was such a nice date though, like very relaxed. There was no pressure because you're kind of drinking. So it makes you loosen up and shit. That being said, I'm not saying to throw back shots and have, you know, 6 cranberry vodkas. We're basically just like bar hopping. You know, I did get a little tipsy at one point. Probably like one of the best dates I had been on, just because it was so relaxed and like we were just talking. Like nervous because as he was driving me home, I'm like, I don't think I'm gonna see this guy again. Like this was a cute date, but I don't think, you know, he's interested. And he's like, no, I'd love to see you again. Did I just score me a rich white boy? Bitch, maybe. So anyways, he dropped me off. Like I want to say I didn't see him again for like a month, and that was something that was really pissing me off, because there would be so many times where we would make plans, I would get ready, and he would just never show up. So I was giving up at that point. I'm like, all right, you know what, you're not interested. Eventually I decided to go out with him again. Next 2 dates we went to the movies. So one thing though that was like kind of annoying me about him was that he had never like wanted to go out to dinner really. He would go out to dinner like with his dad every single night apparently, which I don't know if that was actually true, but it sucked because by the time he would come and get me, it was like 9 or 10 o'clock at night, and Even before COVID, there's only so many things that you can do that late at night. All the options we had were either a bar or going to the movies. We weren't able to really do anything because he said that he worked all day, which I understand. He had like his own business, but I was trying to make it work because I did like him, and I was taking one for the team for my cousin because he told me on multiple occasions he was gonna fire my cousins. I was like, okay, you're welcome. If I keep going out with him, I'll keep your job for you. And I think he still works for him. He always wanted to come over to my mom's house, and like it was a little awkward because her house is small and this guy is rich as fuck, so I don't want him coming over and like judging my mom's house. He had money, so he rented a hotel room one night. He would be making comments like, do you want me to buy you a pair of Louboutins, like in the middle of things, and I'm like, I can't even take you serious. I want to laugh so fucking hard right now, and I just couldn't look at him the same after that. He was not my sugar daddy. Like, he was not giving me money, he wasn't buying me anything. Ultimately, what I started realizing was that he was never gonna really take me serious. It was just like a hookup situation, like a booty call at that point. I remember one day he picked me up from work while I was on like literally a 15-minute break, and he had told me, he's like, oh, we can go grab coffee. I think that's kind of cute. All right. So he picks me up and we go to Dunkin'. I thought like he was gonna park his car and like we're gonna go inside, or like we'd go through the drive-through. He just pulls forward and parks, and I'm like, he literally, I don't even know, can I talk like this on YouTube? He wanted me to do things for him on my 15-minute break. This shit made me so mad because I'm out here thinking like, oh, he's gonna take me on this cute little coffee date real quick. Let me put some emojis in this video so you guys can like get the idea of what I'm getting at. So I was so pissed. I'm like, no, like, take me back to work then if this is what we're gonna do. He was like mad at me that I'm mad at him. He took me back to work and he didn't get me coffee, and that's when I knew it was over. No, but I finally realized that it was never going to be serious. He's like this young rich guy. I mean, obviously he could probably have any girl that he wants just because he has money. And I know some of you might be judging me like, why wouldn't you stay with him if he's rich? Bitch, I wasn't getting no money. And honestly, could never really be a gold digger or whatever like that. So we would occasionally talk after. I think that was like the last time I saw him was that day, because I'm like, you know what? I'm done wasting my time. And then I wind up getting in a relationship after, like a couple months later. I don't know, I just felt very used a lot of the time after being with him. So I was like, it's not worth it. I'm not getting anything. It doesn't make me feel good. What an experience though. Like I said, I took one for the team, so hope you guys enjoyed this little story time. I will do more, possibly. I'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.